Hey, it's Lauren. So today I have a very rambly, chatty get ready with me of this face of makeup, this very autumn-esque makeup that I have been into wearing, even though it's really hot in LA per usual. It's we had this nice little tease of autumn weather, and now it's 80, 90 degrees all week, so that really sucks. Anyways, if you want to hear me blab for an extended period of time about makeup that I am enjoying, that's both new and old, as I put it on my face, then just keep watching. So welcome to a different section of my living room. I'm gonna slowly make my way around filming in different portions of this living room. So I came out here to do my makeup because, well, this is where the good lighting is at in my house, and very classily through the makeup that I have been using and into using in this deli. So let's dig in. I'm a little bit struggling. I've only had one cup of coffee and I'm like, see, it's like the odds, they keep coming. I need another one. So I'm gonna get this makeup done. And I'm gonna go buy myself a cup of coffee. I've not gone out for coffee in weeks because I'm trying to save money. All right, sorry. Queen of tangents. I'm gonna prime my face. I already did my skincare. Already did my skincare, put on SPF, so now I'm gonna prime my face. I'm going to use the Fenty Soft Matte Pro Filter. I really like this stuff. It's like slightly hydrating and it does give a nice perfected canvas to the face. It is something though, since it is like kind of a mattifying primer, like almost like a pore filling one, I do find the need to make sure that I've like properly hydrated my skin. So I did that today. If you watch Veep, I totally pulled a Richard Splett moment, and I thought I was recording when I wasn't recording. So for my foundation, I'm going to be using the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear makeup stick. And a little while ago, Nordstrom's had like their bangin' sale, and all the Lancome stuff was 20% off. So I picked up the stick and I've really been liking it. I got it in the same color that I use in the foundation, and it seems to be a pretty good match. Granted, I haven't like swatched them side by side just because I don't want to open that foundation quite yet since I have so many open, but yeah, I really like it. It's like a good, almost like medium coverage that you can build up, and it does last pretty darn long. So just dotting it all over my face. Now I'm gonna go in with my fingers to mix this guy in. So I like to do one layer of it and then just sort of dot in some areas where I want a bit more coverage. And then I'm gonna take this guy, the BH Cosmetics brush. Says the number 2 brush. I don't know if they have like a certain numbering system, but I got this in a set and it's great for foundation. I thought my shirt sleeves were gonna be the problematic thing, but it's my hair, so it's time to clip these strands back. So there we go. All right, so I am going to conceal and do a tiny bit of color correcting, if I can find the little guy. So when I got the Teint Idole stick, they had like a gift with purchase. So I'm actually using a couple of them today, and one of them was their Camouflage Corrector. It's like the under eye peach corrector for like dark circles, and oh my gosh, this thing is so potent. Like, you just need the tiniest dot on your under eye. If you are not careful and you use too much, then you're like, it goes beyond being helpful color corrector and then just in the territory where you look like you have orange under eyes. And I don't think I'm ever going to need to purchase this because this is so much product. It's gonna last me 20 years by the amount you need. So just this itty bitty bit should be plenty. So I'm just gonna dot this on my under eye and really work it in with my finger. I don't know if you can tell in the light, but the orange of it before you go over it with the concealer, but it kind of looks like an old bruise before you start covering it up. So like that's the main thing where it's like, oh gosh, I have a really light hand, Rose. You don't look like you have dark circles. You look like you have a bruise. So I'm going to now take the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I wanted to say soft matte concealer since that's been like my go-to. It's like what I normally use, but since I have been using this color corrector guy, it got me using my Radiant Creamy again. I'm just gonna go ahead and I have a new little friend right here that decided to pop up this morning, a couple of them actually. Skin was looking great the last couple of days, and then it's like, oh, I feel like shooting a makeup video. Like, I haven't done a makeup get ready with me in a while. I want to shoot one of those. And then like, oh, you want to do that? Have some zits. So I primed my eyelids with some of the NARS concealer, and then I actually went ahead and set my under eye area using the e.l.f. under eye setting powder. I've bought countless of these guys. They're good. They're good little dudes. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and set the rest of my face with the Glossier Wowder. I'm still really enjoying this powder. It does a good job setting the makeup, taking down the shine, but you know, not like mattifying your face. So just using a fluffier BH Cosmetics brush and just dusting this guy all over my face. I feel like I pretty much exclusively have been using this guy since I picked it up. It is the Marc Jacobs Scandalust palette. This guy I got because I was so drawn into this sort of pinkish red and then this copper. But funny enough, these guys, these three right here, have been like my everyday jam, and then maybe occasionally not occasionally, and then often I will pop this guy on as well. This is just a really beautiful like transition shade. So I'm gonna dip in with this blending brush, and I'm just taking At the Office, and I'm just gonna put it all over my lid to start. And then with this eye blending brush from BH Cosmetics, I'm dipping in They Call Her, and I'm just kind of putting this in my crease. I guess maybe some people will call it like the high crease, and just sort of blending that guy out. Then I'm taking this little detail eye brush from e.l.f. This is actually a really great little brush, and I'm dipping into this sort of purpley brownish shade called Little Miss. And I'm just gonna take the tiniest bit and sort of deepen up the sort of outer crease area. Then I just wanna make sure I kind of blend it all out. I'm gonna dip into this sort of light champagne color called Hot Pants and just run it right on the top, right along there. And with a dampened angled brush, this is like one of my few like proper like known brushes. This is the 263 MAC eyeliner brush, and I'm just gonna kind of like stamp on that brown shadow Little Miss as a eyeliner, and just kind of like do a tiny wing, and also just sort of like stamp it into my lash line to make them look a little bit more full. So I don't really worry too much about making the eyeliner when I do this look like too perfect. It can be kind of patchy, kind of smudgy, because I like it to look a little bit lived in, because I'm gonna go ahead and put this shimmer shade Cause a Fuss over top of it. So I kind of like it to be layered underneath, look a little lived in. I like that kind of lived in makeup look. So just with kind of a flat brush. This is a good old Urban Decay brush that comes with Urban Decay palettes, and just putting this all over the lid now. So I used that little detailer brush I was using earlier with that sort of browny purple shade, and I mixed it in with some of this orangey shade, and I used that on the lower lash line to kind of give it a little smoked out vibe. So I really need to balance out my eyes now. So I'm gonna do my mascara and my brows. So for my brows, I am still using the brow definer from Anastasia, and yeah, I've grown to like this guy a lot and find him pretty easy to use. I actually like to kind of like run it through and then back comb it in a way, like run it backwards and then brush it, sort of blend it all out, and I find that works really well. So for my lashes, I'm gonna curl them with the old trusty Surratt curler, and I'll be using the Tarteist lash paint. This is one of the minis that came in that Sephora set that I hauled and talked about a little bit ago, and I think this one is my favorite one. I've used most all of them. I haven't used the Marc Jacobs one that much, and I think that's a mascara I've used in the past. But yeah, I think this guy is my favorite. So I have that little voucher that they give you, so I will probably be going and picking it up with this one. I'm attempting to shop my stash more, so I pulled out the Anastasia contour kit in light medium. This looks like it's super well loved, but the packaging just does not handle well. It's like, it looks very funky. I used this guy a lot. As you can see, I hit pan, but in general, I have not been using this. So I'm gonna use it for, I think, bronzer, maybe a little contour, and highlight. So I'm gonna bronze first, and I like using this guy. This is the e.l.f. bronzing brush, and I'm just gonna use this like a lighter toned one. So I went ahead and used a little bit of this gray contour shade just to kind of like hollow things out. And I'm gonna go ahead and just use the brush that I was bronzing with to pick up the sort of like shimmery highlight shade in here. I don't care, I don't really care that there's like a crossover, because I kind of like my makeup to like kind of blend into one. I'm not really one of those people that's like a layer cake when it comes to my makeup, so I'm just gonna do a light dusting of this kind of all over my face as well. For blush, I'm gonna be using an oldie but a goodie, and this is the Marc Jacobs Air Blush in Flesh and Fantasy. And again, using that same brush, just swirling into this whole thing, and gonna put it on my cheeks. This is like a good neutral blush to have in a collection. Like, I do find myself using it like year round since I got it. Like, I did pull it out here or there in the summer, but like, this is just such the like perfect nude toned like fall kind of rosy blush that's like, it's kind of mature, sophisticated, and it's just like one of those sort of neutral leaning blushes that you can actually end up pairing really well with a plethora of different lips. Like, you can really use it with pretty much any bold lip, and I feel like it looks okay. So before I move on to my lips, I'm going to use Glossier's Boy Brow. I prefer when I use a brow gel, whether it's colored or clear, to actually do it after I'm done with all of my powdering, because I find that it ends up getting really crusty and gloopy with product. So it's like all of the particles from the various powder products that I have used just end up making their way into my brows, and it gets crispy and it gets weirdly colored and like almost gray cast. So yeah, so this is like a step I usually do at the end. My lip guys that I have been loving are the new NARS Soft Matte Lip Pigments. I have the color American Woman and Under My Thumb. These have been my go-to lips. I've been wearing these like all the time. So American Woman is like a really nice, beautiful, like rosy, easy nude, and then Under My Thumb is like a rich autumnal berry that just kind of packs a jammy punch on the lips. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on American Woman, and I'm actually gonna line my lips for this one with Primrose from Marc Jacobs. This is like my all-time favorite lip liner. You don't really need a lip liner with these guys, but I feel like a lip liner just makes everything easier. When it comes to using these, you really need to be like vigilantly aware of the product itself, because it is a really liquidy, watery formula, and it is super pigmented, so it can like easily like flick itself somewhere and you're not even aware, and then it's like it'll be an issue, it'll be a problem. So just keep your eye out. Now that my lips are done, I can put on the earrings that I had set aside to wear today. I got these recently, and I think they're super cool. But yeah, these guys, I find the consistency of them to be actually really lightweight. If you've tried the Lancome matte shakers at all, I'd say the formula feels really similar, and they dry down pretty fast, but they don't dry down in like that really tight liquid lipstick way. They feel actually pretty nice on the lips, and I'd say the staying power on them is pretty substantial. I've worn this like at work and it lasted really well, and then I wore this one to a wedding I went to recently in Chicago, and it stayed pretty well. Even when I got a little tipsy, still stayed pretty decently intact. Like it wore away like on the inner part, but that's to be expected when you're like eating and drinking and it's like 5 hours later. So for under my thumb, I'm actually just gonna put it on over top of American Woman, because this is so bold and so opaque that I don't think that this is going to really interfere with the color. And this just sort of gives me a really easy sort of beginning trace, because this guy, if you get somewhere else on your face, that can be an issue. It's beautiful, but very dangerous. I like that you can use these guys in a couple different ways. Like you can use it as like a full, very opaque liquid lipstick, but you can also just like take a little bit and like dab it and make it more like a lip tint or even like a stain. And that is something to be aware of. Like this guy under my thumb really like fully stains your lips. So yeah, this is the face with the two different lips. I hope you enjoyed today's very rambly video. If you enjoyed these kind of videos, please give it a thumbs up, and if you really enjoyed it, subscribe if you're not already. All right, I'm gonna go have the rest of my day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.